Yes, my people, Wike don't break record. This one when Wike do so, now he can let us know say yes. Now he start the work when they put him as FCT minister. Because even the ministers, they wonder, say how they take carry FCT minister give Wike. Wike will be PDP. So now he can let us know the reason why they carry the FCT minister give him. Not that way they chase Fubara up and down. No, now he start the work. So Wike now, he don't go approve 15 billion naira just for Vice President Shettima. No, only one person now Wike approve 15 billion for. What if now the president, our money go finish? One person 15 billion. That one no concern me. Now the Agbadorians, all those in the Akbobi, when carry chair say yes, if you know you're not voting for APC, go home. Now those people me are the pity for. Because the renew shaking now already face am. I don't want to talk too much. I want to bring up the video so that when I go see the reactions when some professors reacted concerning this approve when he approve. Because immediately when he don't approve this money, many reactions take place. Many reactions take place. I don't want to talk too much. I want to bring up this video. When I see the reactions when it take place, different names, whether they call, how some people they call different names, and I go hear everything. I want to bring up the video. And as they bring up this video, I beg you in the name of God, make sure say you go like, comment and share. Share that so people when they pass them, they go see what they go on. How we get to go approve 15 billion naira just for Vice President house. Thank you.
I guess to anybody listening to the figures that are being thrown around, you do wonder in the context of everything that is going on, why even such a huge sum of money is being considered for the residence of the vice president. And I will start with you, Professor Awurawo, to provide commentary on this plan for a 15 billion naira sum in the context of the broader FCTA supplementary budget. Help us understand, help Nigerians understand what exactly is going on here.
Thank you very much. A whole lot is happening, which is very unpleasant. A fortnight ago, we discussed the 160 million naira official cars for members of National Assembly. And we expressed shock over such prodigality. That was the language we used. In fact, one of our colleagues here said rascality, financial rascality. That how do you justify that at a time of economic crisis such as we are in? The same pattern seems to have continued, as you can see from this current proposal to spend this amount, 15 billion, while another 2.5 billion is being spent to renovate. You wonder whether all of this is happening in this Nigeria, where minimum wage remains 30,000 naira, unable to buy a bag of rice, and it is just incomprehensible. I would just, say that we appeal to the government that in as much as there are policies that they are put in place that will likely help revamp the economy, the expenditure side also needs to be, looked at very critically. If you make all the money and spend all the money, then you are back to square zero. It is a major weakness of the Ahmed Bola Tinubu administration. Lack of financial discipline. I would just also link that to the current, summit that is going on in Dubai, the climate change summit, where Nigeria has the third largest delegation, 1,411. Only China and Brazil have larger delegation at the COP28 going on in Dubai. United States, United Kingdom, European Union all have less number of delegates than Nigeria. All sorts of people. And some of them have been even posting online, pretty women who do TikTok and all that, they're out there, who have absolutely nothing to do with environmental issues and climate change matters. They are there, they are enjoying themselves. And you wonder, the same government that is saying we should discipline ourselves, we should be Spartan in our lifestyle so that we can revamp the economy, is doing this. It simply doesn't make sense. That's why I'm appealing to government too, because the thing is doing damage at three levels. First, It's affecting the economy negatively. Second, it is over-bloating cost of governance, which also has its negative impact on the economy. And third, it is having negative impact on our psyche. People have been calling me since yesterday and say, why should I pay tax? I'm just paying tax to just fund some people's very wasteful lifestyle. And when we analyze countries, one of the things that make countries great is commitment to the common good, commitment to the country, national character. Colleagues, people analyze Nigerian national character and they say, how do we describe it? Other than that, it is cynical negativism. And when you have that kind of national character and this kind of attitude reinforcing it, then we go nowhere. So we appeal to government to think critically about the way the government spends. It is prodigal as we speak. And that needs to stop for us to make progress.
In fact, thank you very much, Professor Awurawo. One of the things that your submissions did remind me of is that, on the back of COP28, the president has been talking to stakeholders from around the world about some of the things that we need to do back here with regards to the environment. But interestingly, there are about 4 or 5 African delegations that are at COP. And we received news and reports that President William Ruto of Kenya actually reviewed his delegation list and cut down from 100. And I think eventually they had about less than 50 or just under 50 who attended. You mentioned China, you mentioned Brazil. China has a population of over 1 billion, right? So that is probably commensurate with the size of the delegation. Of course, here in Nigeria, we're about 200 million, not too far off Brazil as well, around the same. But this issue of the cost of governance has been at the forefront of many people's minds. So a question I will have for you, Mr. Achike-Chude, is this just the sort of thing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should wade into very strongly, especially because one of his earlier campaign promises, and even after he came into government, was looking at the cost of governance and cutting down on the excesses?
Yeah, well, I just needed to maybe make an intervention based on what you said earlier. I think you were using the expression or the word that Nigerians were scandalized by the huge amount of money that these politicians are spending. Yes, I would agree with you, and then you're also wondering why the political class are comfortable with that kind of money that is so huge. And I was just smiling because for us, yes, maybe you and I and the prof and then maybe the rest of Nigerians, it's a lot of money. 1 million naira is a lot of money. What is 15 billion naira? We are to 15 billion naira. Yes, we are told, from that report, the minister was shown justifying it. How can anybody under this circumstance in Nigeria justify building a house or property for the vice president when there is one already? And just like you also said, about whopping 2.5 billion naira has also been budgeted for that purpose. You can also build a new house for the vice president with even the 2.5 billion naira. And then again, that represents a budget of 61 billion naira, I think, for the Federal Capital Territory. And the 15 billion naira that one person is going to use represents about 25% of the 61 billion, 25% for one person in Abuja. Where you have perhaps, what's the population of Abuja? Perhaps over 1 million. There are roads to be constructed, there are schools to be repaired, there are hospitals. Somebody, an influencer died the other time as a result of a lack of access to medical facilities in Abuja. The lady that was thrown off the bus and all that. And so you have just one person, because he's the vice president of Nigeria, maybe perhaps feeling entitled to 15 billion naira that will be spent on his behalf. But it's not just a problem with it. There's a philosophy behind, there's a mindset behind all of this. It's not big money. The prof was talking about the consternation, the last time about a fortnight ago, over 160 million. And then the people are looking at us. And I think I was here in the studio one day, and then a former member of the National Assembly was trying to justify the amount of money, some of this that are available to some of these politicians. And so we've always known that there's a dichotomy between the way we think, the way we see things, and the way they look at things. It means nothing to them. It means nothing to them that a governor, for instance, collects about 500 million naira every single month for security votes. Of course, about 2 states in the country, some of the richest states are collecting about, the governors are collecting about #1 billion each for security votes. The Malawian president was confronted with this issue of the COP28, and he refused. He said he wasn't going to go there, and he wasn't going to, and he was going to cancel travels out of Malawi for whatever reason, so except it is very, very expedient. So these are the things that we are, talking about. And I'll just give you one other instance, really. You look at, for instance, when the 5 billion naira was budgeted for the procurement of a yacht, regardless of which administration, this administration or the previous administration, there was this back and forth as to who ordered it. And then the National Assembly now agreed that it should go to the students. Now, extra 5 billion. So before then, you had 5 billion being budgeted for students' loan. That's about 12 million students, tertiary education, if you include universities in the country, colleges of education, polytechnics, and the rest, about 12 million youths. We are going to benefit from 5 billion naira students' loan. And then the president was going to get a yacht for 5 billion naira. So when you look at, you see the disparity and the scandal and the level of thinking among our political class. The reality is that they do not simply care, and that they are too disconnected from the reality that Nigerians are facing. It is so easy for anybody, and we've been hearing this from the military dispensation, even the court operation. We tighten our belt. They're under the NPN. Tighten your belt, and then it continued. We kept on rolling from one administration, from the military to the civilians, and Nigerians had to make these sacrifices at every single point in time, and we did, and we have always made these sacrifices. But what do the politicians and the political elite sacrifice? Absolutely nothing. Rather than make sacrifices, they take more from the little that the people have. So these are it's critical. The money for allocated to the vice president, 15 billion, is a scandal. It's an abomination. As far as we are concerned, as far as the country is concerned, as far as we have the deep disparity and the poverty that we're seeing in this country, where over 133 million Nigerians are still wallowing in poverty. It does not. It just tells you that, like I said, there's a serious disconnection between those who govern and those who are governed.